Alright, ladies and gentlemen, HYSILENS of course released not too long ago, and she basically single-handedly saved Dot, and we were lucky enough to get her in just a single 10 pull. So yeah, why not test out our HYSILENS in Pure Fiction, because Dot was always a decent Pure Fiction team, although not really the best other than when Pure Fiction first released. But now, after HYSILENS' release and Dot just doing so well in AoE, personally, I think that Dot might be one of the best Pure Fiction teams to have released in a very long time. So honestly, all we're going to be doing here is we're going to be running it into the first half up against Jeopard, and then also into the second half up against Hule, of course picking up the Dot buff. All premium units here are E0S0, but full character builds will be at the end. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. But real quick, before we go into it, if you want to pull any version 3.5 characters or beyond, then I have the perfect thing for you, and that's today's sponsor, lootbar.gg. You can use Lootbar to top up in your favorite games like Honkai Style or Genshin Impact and save up to 25% on your purchases. Lootbar leverages favorable exchange rates and uses HYSILENS partner ads so you can get the most affordable prices and enjoy all HYSILENS top-up bonuses. Transactions on Lootbar are simple, safe and secure, as you only need to enter your UID and your region in order to get fast delivery. For example, if I want to buy the 3,280 generic shards and receive double with the first time top-up bonus, all I have to do is enter my UID as well as my server, and then if I go to top up now, they typically arrive in less than a minute. And creators like Raiden Shotgun, To That Time, and Mordex Tryhard are all also collaborating with Lootbar, so they are trustworthy, and they also have some very good reviews on Trustpilot, and I just use them myself so I can vouch for the authenticity, speed, and security. New users can also get an extra 10% off, so be sure to check out Lootbar with the link in the description. Thank you to Lootbar, and back to the video. Alright, well then here we are on the first half with our Dot team. Of course, let's just go ahead and use all of our techniques here. I almost used Kafka's there to start the battle. That would not have been good, because then we would have had to restart, which would have been rather annoying. But anyway, let's go ahead and start the battle, this time using Kafka's technique correctly. And honestly, I think I'm just going to go ahead and basic attack on HYSILENS here, just get the extra skill points. There's basically no reason to use her skill here because, you know, we don't take that much damage in Pure Fiction. But anyway, let's just go ahead and trigger our Kafka's skill. And then, okay, that should clear out the entire wave there, which is very nice for us. We're just going to go ahead and apply our Death Shred on our Black Swan and then use Kafka's ult so that we can get the extra energy from the Death Shred off of the tutorial light cone. So as you can see, in one ult we're already halfway there, which is very nice. You love to see that. Go ahead and use HYSILENS' skill. Dude, it's so annoying having HYSILENS and Hyacinth on the same team. I will mix them up half the time. It is too much of a tongue twister. Try saying HYSILENS and Hyacinth very quickly 10 times. It's not particularly easy. Anyway, we should be close to getting HYSILENS' ultimate. Actually, we're close to getting our ult on all of our Dot characters already, which is very nice. Just gonna go ahead and basic attack again on our Hyacinth. Go ahead and Black Swan ult. Black Swan's ult doesn't tend to do much damage, but of course it does apply a lot of dot, which is very nice. So I won't be clearing out the wave unless it weakness breaks, basically. And okay, there we go. We have already cleared the first wave. We are still in our 0th cycle, which is very nice. Let's go ahead and target the boss. Nice thing is that, of course, both HYSILENS as well as Kafka, I nearly messed up there again, have high damaging AoE ults. Which, you know, of course, very useful. Like, as you can see there, I think that was 1.2 million on the HYSILENS ult. God, I'm gonna keep making that mistake and it's gonna keep annoying me. 745k there on Kafka as well. So yeah, we're hitting some insane damage right now. Now, of course, this Dot is... not this Dot, rather. This Pure Fiction, rather, is very centered around Dot. You know, both the grid mechanic as well as one of the buffs is Dot centered. Although, to be fair, there's basically always a Dot buff on at least one of the halves of Pure Fiction. So, although the grid mechanic won't be centered around Dot, you know, Dot will still be doing decently well, at least. So, I actually do think that the Dot team might be one of the best in Pure Fiction for the time being, but then again, don't want to count my eggs before they hatch. Let's go ahead and see how well this performs. We have dealt over half of the HP bar though, and we still have not gone out of the 0th cycle. We've applied a few more dots here, so we can go ahead and use Kafka's ult as well. See, okay, yeah, 24%, and we're only just now getting out of that cycle. Very nice. We love to maximize efficiency here. Let's go ahead and Black Swan ult as well. Yeah, it's funny seeing Black Swan ult do 58k whilst HYSILENS is doing 1.2 million, Kafka's doing like 800k. I definitely do feel like we will be getting Black Swan buffs eventually. I don't think we're going to see a new Dot unit for a while. It's probably just going to be a buff for Black Swan would be my guess, because I feel like this Dot team just feels so complete. All we need is maybe a bit more quality of life. Like, in the past, I'd say we probably needed a dot sustainer, but honestly, I don't even think that's true nowadays, because HYSILENS is just such an insane unit. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish this off with Kafka's ultimate, and we get a fair bit of refund there as well, and we're already on the final wave with 3 cycles remaining, so I don't see why this wouldn't be a 40k clear, which is gonna be pretty insane. I'm not sure I've ever done a 40k clear in Pure Fiction before, so yeah, that definitely goes to show just how powerful the dot team is right now in Pure Fiction. Blackstone was always a good Pure Fiction unit as well, with the way that her Arcana works and carries over as well. You know, back in the early Akron days, I used to run Jiaocho Black Swan in Pure Fiction, and oh my god, that team absolutely destroyed enemies half the time. So yeah, that was some fun times. And the Dot Cron team. The Dot Cron team was very good as well. I used Dot Cron until Jiaocho came out. So yeah, I actually really do look back fondly on those days, if I say so. It feels like an eternity ago, even though it actually wasn't all that long ago. Anyway, go ahead and HYSILENS ult for 2.1 million damage. We'll go ahead and take that, of course. And now let's see how much our Kafka deals on her ult. Ends up being 2 million as well. We love to see 4.1 million from Dot in 2025. Now, of course, this is Pure Fiction with buffs, inflated numbers, so don't think you're going to be doing nearly as much in Memory of Kills. Probably about a quarter of the numbers you're seeing here, but still, we'll go ahead and take that. Just go ahead and basic attack on our Hyacinth as well. And now Black Swan ults as well, making sure that the Arcana on Jeopard will not be decreasing. Already 21 stacks before he even takes his turn, so we should be able to get into 50. Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to be able to get into 50. And we've done about half of Jeopard's health HP bar left. Actually, I'm curious, will we be able to hit 40k without even going into the last cycle? We are actually on for it, I believe. Okay, he will also be taking his turn, so yeah, he definitely will be taking a 50 Arcana dot, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, definitely, look at this. Because we get to skill on our HYSILENS, and this might give us our ultimate. Oh yeah, this should definitely give us our ultimate now. So yep, let's go. Okay, how much do we deal on the ult? Answer is 2.2 million. Kafka gets her ult as well, so let's ult during Kafka's turn. We have the Death Shred up as well, 1.7 million, and then skill as well. Is this going to be 50 stacks of Arcana? No, but it's going to be pretty close. Oh, actually, can we trigger another Kafka ult here as well? We just need to get hit one more time. Please hit Kafka. Okay, perfect. So now we get off a Kafka ult. So this will definitely be 50 stacks of dot on Jeopard as well. Never mind, 49. But 2.1 million damage. Okay, 3% left on Jeopard. Okay, that part's not ideal. Okay, maybe we might just miss. Actually, no. With the okay. If we Kafka follow-up attack Jeopard, we should be able to take him out. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Yep, there we go. And we managed to hit 40k before even going into the final cycle, which is absolutely insane for me. But with that being said, I have even higher hopes for this team on the second half, because there is both a lot of physical and wind weakness. So we will be dealing our full damage potential on both our Black Swan as well as our HYSILENS. So yeah, let's just hop right into that. Alright, and here we are on the second half now with our dot team up against Hule. We did actually manage to get a score of 32k with Castris on the first half, which is very fun. Yeah, I do feel like Castris dot teams will probably be carrying me through Pure Fiction right now, because I don't really have any Erudition DPSs other than Mini Herta as well as Himiko on this account, and I am not using Himiko in Pure Fiction 2025 when the HP inflation has gone so crazy. But yeah, as I was saying in the previous in the first half, there isn't that much wind weakness, which means that I don't think Black Swan's wind shears are doing as much damage as they could be, because instead there's lightning weak, but we don't actually deal that much lightning dot damage. It's a lot more physical as well as wind. So I think on this half, where it's full of physical as well as wind weakness, we might actually see even better results than we did in the first half, which would be very exciting considering the fact that we 40k'd there without even having to go in the last cycle. So I'm expecting at least that, if not maybe slightly better, but we'll have to wait and see. Although we are off to a great start, just like we were on the first half currently. We don't get our ult here on HYSILENS, unfortunately. But if we get hit a few times by the enemies, or if a few of them die, then we should be able to... Okay, well, there's Black Swan's ult, which is nice. Actually, I think this wave should get cleared anyway, and I think HYSILENS might get her ult off of this. Let's see. No, she doesn't, but she should be getting hit by these enemies on the right side at least. Just go ahead and keep basic attacking on our HYSILEN. Yeah, the nice thing is that this dot team also isn't very sustain heavy, because although their HP pools aren't that big, I do think that HYSILENS has some great quality of life by reducing enemy attack by like 15%, which makes the burden on your sustain like much lower. And then also when you factor in HYSILENS HP increase, this team is just so comfortable that you don't even need to be using her skill all that much. Especially in Pure Fiction, but also applies to Epoch Shadow as well as Memory of Chaos, at least right now, unless enemies start doing insane amounts of damage after they release, for example, Dunhunk's Preservation variant, and then enemies just one-shot you unless you don't have shields. But I wanted to say I doubt they'll do that, but I think it's more accurate to say I hope they won't do that, because we all used to say that about power creep, and then we all know what ended up happening. So yeah, anyway, let's go ahead. We have done basically half of this guy's HP already. Okay, we can go for a Kafka ult as well. So we have just entered the next cycle, and this guy only has 18% HP remaining. We love to see that. We are out of the grid phase, but we deal so much dots that we will be back in it in no time. I think as soon as we deal one Kafka skill, we should be back in it. Let's see. And yes, we are. Okay, I was right. Perfect. Our Kafka, we need to make sure she doesn't get CC. Okay, never mind. The wave is already dead, and we're already onto Hule. Okay, we're just gonna ult here right away on HYSILENS so that we can cleanse the CC on our Kafka, because that would be not ideal if she got crowd controlled. We need her as our driver. Anyway, we have the defense shred applied from our Blackstone, so let's go ahead and ult on Kafka, get a bit more refund than we would otherwise. A nice 1.5 million damage, but yeah, like I said, Hule, both physical and wind weakness. The only reason why you want lightning weak on enemies in dot teams is just so that you can break their weaknesses quicker. But other than that, I don't think resisting lightning damage a bit will deal much, because HYSILENS, although she deals like all types of dot damage, most of it does come from physical, which is why a physical orb is so good on her. And then also on Blackstone, of course, all of her Arcana is wind shear damage, which of course is wind damage. So you don't want them having resistances to wind or physical. But yeah, as long as they have at least one of those, you should be good in Pure Fiction. Because there's basically always going to be, like I said, there's always going to be at least one dot buff, and then the bosses are going to be weak to probably either one of physical or wind. So I do feel like dot will always be a solid team in Pure Fiction going forward. Even if the big grid mechanic isn't centered around dot, you should still be seeing at least 30k, if not 35k. I'd say you're looking around the 30 to 35k range, which is basically exactly what you want in order to be getting 12 stars in Pure Fiction. Of course, if you add in signature light cones into the mix, or some early Eidolons, which I know quite a few people actually have on either Blackstone or Kafka, then you're probably you're getting over 35k, which is great. But yeah, just hitting about 30 to 35k is all you need in Pure Fiction, because now as long as you have a decent second side, then you can go for 25 to 30k and you'll be just fine. And I do feel like I do feel like Dot as well as Castris is basically exactly the two type of teams which will be achieving that. I'm not sure about Phydon. Maybe when Surridge releases, Phydon will be a bit better in Pure Fiction, but we'll have to wait and see. Although I do know that Surridge will be making an Exa probably pretty insane in Pure Fiction, which is why we will be putting Surridge on our alt account, even though we don't have Phydon on it. I'm probably not going to put any of Ramphor's characters on it. And, you know, I do have an Exa on there, so that's probably what we're going to go ahead and do. And because I absolutely love an Exa's gameplay, he is just one of the most fun DPSs in the entire game. Anyway, let's go ahead and ult on our Blackstone, just to apply as much more dot as we can. And then we can ult on Kafka, and this should take everything out. So I believe that once again, we will be hitting 40k. Oh, never mind. Okay, but then... Okay, enemies die to dot. Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay, there we go. Now we hit our 40k. So yeah, we basically hit 40k on both sides with dot E0S0. I'm not sure what teams have done that since since Pure Fiction is released. But you know what? I'll definitely go ahead and take that. We hit a new record in this Pure Fiction, probably in every Pure Fiction, because I've actually never hit a 40k before, like I said. So yeah, I think my closest was 38k with Cashless when she released. But yeah, with that being said, let's just go ahead and hop right into the character builds as well as Archer. Well then, as you can see, the Dot team performed exceptionally well in Pure Fiction, hitting 40k on both sides. Now, like I said, this is because Dot is getting shielded so hard right now in Pure Fiction. But like I said, as long as the enemies are weak to one of wind or physical, and as long as there is a Dot buff, as long as it's not the entire Dot, even if the grid mechanic entirely isn't centered around Dot, as long as there's a single buff, which there normally is for Dot, then you should be looking at about 30 to 35k clears. If there's no Dot buff, then probably closer to 30k. But then if you have any form of vertical investment whatsoever, then you're once again looking at 35k plus. So yeah, I do feel like Dot is very good into Pure Fiction if you're having any last minute, hesitations by putting HYSILENS or whatever. And also the one thing that is great about Dot, which is very useful, is that it literally doesn't overlap with any other top meta team in the game. If you have a Casterist, then you don't need to take any of her supports. If you have a Finon, doesn't take any of his supports, or units which are really good in Pure Fiction, like for example the Hertha. Honestly, that's what I think Dot's biggest strength is right now, that it differs so much from the other archetypes that there isn't any character overlap. Even between like Mighty and Aglaya, or Mighty as well as Final, they have some overlap because all of them kind of want to have Sunday. Or for example, if you have Casterus as well as Blade or Mighty, then both of those teams kind of want Hyacinth and Tribi. So yeah, definitely very useful. Now when it comes to our character build, starting off with our HYSILENS, she's on 3.3k attack, 135 speed. She does hit 120 effect hit rate because she is on a S4 Eyes of the Prey. Trace is fully maxed out other than her basic attacks, and she is on the Dot set. We do actually have her on attack boots. In my personal opinion, if you can't get your HYSILENS to 160 speed, then just put her on attack boots, because it's pretty easy to hit 134, because she's already high base speed. She has a lot of speed traces, so as long as you just stack speed and effect hit rate and give her attack boots, then she will perform very well. Now unfortunately, I only have an attack sphere. I probably am kind of oversaturated when it comes to attack, so I would like to run physical damage, but this is my best physical damage piece, and I need to hit my speed as well as HR requirements, so we're going for an attack orb instead, as well as attack rope. But we are on the Revelry set as well, and then she is also E0. When it comes to our Black Swan, she's on 140 speed, as well as once again 120 effect hit rate, S1 Eyes of the Prey, Traces maxed out, Relics Prisoner set as well. Like I said, just prioritize getting speed, effect hit rate, and then you can get as much attack as you want. We do also have wind damage on the Pan Cosmic set, just to get that extra effect hit rate from only having an S1 Eyes of the Prey, as well as attack rope, and then Eidolon's also E0. When it comes to our Kafka, she's on 163 speed, 3k attack, as well as 82 effect hit rate on the tutorial Lightcon S5, which everyone can get from the Hertha store. And then Traces maxed out other than the basic, as well as thingy. I've finally leveled up her talent to max after literally 2 years. This used to be level 8. And then Relics 2p speed, just so that we can get over 160, as well as attack body, speed boots, attack orb, as well as ERR rope, as well as Lushaka, which is why we run HYSILENS in the first slot, so that she can get the 12% extra attack. So yeah, she definitely is getting a lot of attack stats, and then also E0. And then our HYSILENS as a sustainer, over 5k HP, over 200 speed, nearly 100 crit damage as well as on the Hertha store Lightcon, as well as Traces being mostly maxed out. Warrior Goddess set, which makes literally no difference in this team whatsoever. I just have this for my Castress, Mighty, as well as Blade teams, as well as the Giant Tree set, as well as E0S0. Yeah, that's it for our character builds. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.